We are up. What's up, y'all? I got the red cup. Can y'all hear me? Are we clear out there? Just gonna hang out for a second, make sure everybody's in the house. Will Till One, you're the first person. Yup. Fluffy toenails. Always good to see you. Mr. Parker's in the house. What's good from NC? What's good, Fluffy toenails? Always a pleasure. H. Bippy, always a pleasure. The Psychotic Circus of Savannah. Yes, sir. Firebird Phoenix. What's up? What's up? What's up? Haitian Space Program. Haitian Space Program. That's dope. The Cypher One crew, always a follower, always in the building. What's good? What's good? Verse PHR, Verse Pro. Come down, Kenny Parker. Let me move this up a little closer so I can see. Roach, good evening, sir. Good evening. Good evening to everybody. Mr. Vintage. Where's the red cup? The red cup is right here. Let me take a sip. Prank is at 236. I can't see. 236. Stop. What's up, Kenny? What's up? Alvin K. Hey, Kenny. New follower here from Philly. Philly in the building. Always a dope hip hop town. Love Philadelphia. Always dope when we went out there. A Psychotic Circus Savannah. I always miss your lives, but watch them later. Long time sub. First official live. Thank you for finally catching up with the crew. We are in here. We got like a nice little small crew, and we just be in here talking about whatever. HBP, I love the screen names. Me too. It's a funny one. A Steel, Boston in the house. Shout out to Boston. Shout out to Ed O.G. and the Bulldogs. 73 Trini, always in the building. Stephen from Sims Deli. Yes. Big up, big up. Uh-oh, my phone is ringing. Of course it's going to ring now. J Woo 72, always in the building, New Haven, Connecticut. Always. Yo, what is the name? There's a hood part of Connecticut. I cannot remember the name of it. We did a show out there. Yo, it was so hood, we couldn't even perform. We was on stage 10 minutes and we had to leave. They rushed the stage. It was crazy. I can't remember the part of Connecticut we was in, but it was hood. Mr. Vintage, what's up? Mr. Vintage, yo, Kenny, why nobody talks about Disco King Mario as one of the forefathers in hip-hop? I've heard his name come up quite a few times. I'm not too familiar with Disco King Mario. Damn. Sorry, y'all. I'm not too familiar with Disco King Mario, but I've heard his name come up a lot. Yeah, people mention his name. I don't know. It's not like Cool Herc, but yeah. James Brown, Buffalo, New York, 716. Shout out to Buffalo. Y'all get mad snow out there. Is it snowing right now? Wiggy's Oak. Shout out from Germany. Is it Wiggy's OBK? Hey, what's up, Kenny? Shout out from Germany. Love your book. Thank you so much for everyone who has got the book. My brother's name is Kenny. If you don't have it, pick it up on Amazon or Apple Books. It's the whole origin story of BDP plus my family plus a lot of hip-hop stories. It's crazy. Shout out to Germany. Dope hip-hop spot. Sweet Goldilocks. Kenny, got my book. See you Thursday. Yes. Matter of fact, let me talk about that real quick. First, let me shout out to my man, Napoleon Maddox, who brought me out to Cincinnati, Ohio last weekend. I had a blast. Thank you so much for showing me so much love out there. And I had a great time. Cincinnati, Ohio, Napoleon Maddox. Thank you so much. And this Thursday, October 26th, I will be at a place called The Meadows in Brooklyn. Shout out to my man Carlos. DJ Evil D will be spinning, and I will be signing books from 7 to 9. If you have a book, I will be there. I will sign your book. Let's kick it. If you don't have a book, come get one in Brooklyn. The place is called, let me get it right, The Meadows in Brooklyn, October 26th. Let's move on. Will Till, talk about Big Joe Crash. Well, Big Joe Crash, I do believe, is KRS-One was part of a comic book, and he did a song for a comic book. It was like an animation. I'm not sure if it was a comic book. It was a comic book, but it might have been a cartoon also. Maybe that was just the video. Big Joe Crash. It was a limited release 12-inch. I don't even know if I still have any copies of Big Joe Crash. There weren't that many of them. It was KRS-One and somebody else, I believe. That was 1994. Method Muhammad Johnson, RIP 45 King. Yes, great dude. One of my favorite producers of all time. RIP to the 45 King. I met him in 1989 up at 98.7 Kiss FM. He used to be up there with Red Alert all the time. And I used to come up there just to check out Red Alert and just hang out. And I met 45 King up there. Great producer, incredible drums on all of his stuff. I mean, y'all know him from the 900 number, probably the most classic hip hop instrumental of all time, which DJ Cool used for Let Me Clear My Throat, which went gold. He had the, remember the Spread Love, da, 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 with the drums. That was 45 King. He did all of the Flavor Unit music, all of Latifah, all of Chill Rob G. Of course, you know, Stan from Eminem and Hard Knock Life from Jay-Z. He was just an incredible producer. He will be missed and a great guy and a dope DJ. That's it. RIP 45 King. FU2. Hey, good to see you again. What's up, Kenny? Best book ever. Thank you so much for those of you that got the book. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Damn, let me slow this down. But as soon as I touch this thing, it shoots up. Solviz, Kenny, do you study metaphysics like your brother? I was at metaphysics just a little bit, nothing like my brother. He's been studying metaphysics since we were about 15 years old. Do you have a Mark the 45 King story? Genesis and Force said, no, I don't really have a story. Particularly, I used to just see him from time to time. We never really got a chance to hang out and chill, but I used to see him all the time, you know, in the New York area. And like I said, I met him up at 98.7 Kiss FM in New York when Red Alert used to be the DJ. I met him there in 1989. FE2, DJ King Mario is well known in the Soundview area of the Bronx. I used to be up in Soundview a lot. Yeah, a lot of people mention him. I think he gets mentioned. I mean, not as much as the, you know, the Mount Rushmore of the founders, but I've heard his name. MODX Mike, what's good? What's good? Always checking in. Black Noah, just finished the book. Well written. We'll buy the audio book as well. Working on the audio book right now. Thank you so much, Black Noah. J Wu 72. Maybe Hartford, Connecticut. Could have been Hartford. Could be Hartford, Connecticut. There's some spot in Connecticut, y'all, that is super hood, man. Like one of the hoodest places I've ever performed at in my life. Jaron George, much love from Dayton, Ohio. Yeah, I was just in Cincinnati, Ohio. I got to speak to a high school out there with some young kids. And they were saying that the graduation rate at this high school was 27%, y'all. 27% graduation rate. That is criminal. And I'm happy to be able to have talked to them. Maybe I've influenced maybe one kid, man. That is so tough. 27%. Method Man Muhammad, Break the Chain. Yes, that was the name of the song. Let me scroll down. So is the third verse of the We In There remix a shot at D Nice about his Time to Flow single? I don't know. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't know about that. That's a question that KRS would have to answer. Kind of sounds like it, but I don't let me put that out there like that. I don't know, but I could see where you would get that from. You know what's funny? I asked Tretch from Naughty by Nature about 6 years ago. I said, come on, Tretch, tell the truth. Did you write for D Nice on his second album? And Tretch said no. He said no to me. So take that as you will. Tretch told me from his mouth he did not write on D Nice's second album. Crown Jewels, what's up? What's up? Oh, this thing just shot up. Let me rewind back. J72, feel the vibe, feel the beat. Yes, my favorite song I ever produced for KRS-One. Gary's Garage, RIP 45 King, yes. So Viz, Like a Throttle is my favorite cut off Sex and Violence. Who is Chris talking about? Thank you so much for liking that Kenny Parker production. I mean, at that time, it could have been any number of people, man. We had a lot of beef. 91, 92, into 93. A lot of beef that I haven't even talked about on this channel yet. You know what? I can safely say, off the top of my head, between like, say, 91, in my time being in BDP, so I'm going to say from like 90-ish, 91 to about 96 or 97, like 5-6 years, we had at least 20 beefs. That's just off the top of my head that I can remember. And when I mean beefs, it varies from subliminals back and forth, straight out disses, and straight up when I see you it's on beefs. Like that whole range. We had like 20 of them. I've probably talked about 3 or 4 of them on this channel so far. And I'm going to get into more of them later on, but like I've said in my other previous chats, I don't want this channel to be all about beefs all the time. You know, there's so much stuff that happened in my time in BDP, and I want to get to all of it. So I try to mix it up. I add a lot of the funny stuff, like my epic fails. For those of you that's checked out my epic fails, thank you so much. There's plenty more coming because I've had a bunch of epic fails, and I'm going to sprinkle in some of the beefs. And some beefs I think should be left where they were. For example, I've mentioned the beef with Poor Righteous Teachers back in 92. I'm not really going to go into that. I'm going to leave that where it was. But that beef was going on as well. That's like a whole story. But I'm not going to talk about that particular one on this channel because Chris and Wise Intelligence are all good right now. And that's how I want to leave it. Takashi Mandela. Oh, I haven't seen you in a while, my brother. How you been? Thank you so much for the love. DJ Kenny Parker, peace, brother. Do you have any EPMD stories? Man. I was in the building when EPMD and Redman met for the first time. It was, I might do that whole story later on. It was at a club called Sensations in New Jersey. I was there. What else? I got to chill with Parrish in the studio. I produced a song for him on an independent label way back in like 97. And I got to chill with him and just kick it. I tell you a funny EPMD story. Should I save this? Nah, I'm just going to tell it now for those of you that's on the live. We had a show in 92. We all met up. We was driving out to the show. Back then, we used to drive. KRS-One does not fly, for those of you that don't know. KRS-One stopped flying in 1992-ish. So from that point on, we've been all either driving. He bought 2 custom vans. And we used to all pile into these vans, these custom vans, and drive. So we either went custom vans, tour bus, or Amtrak. Everywhere, never flying. And when we went overseas, KRS would travel on a cruise ship and we would fly. So the cruise ship took 7 days. So Chris would leave, and like on the 6th day, we would all fly to Europe and meet him there. Bananas. Anyway, we had a show. We all piled into this van in 1992, and Chris goes, "Yo, I was just chilling with Parrish Smith." He said, "Yo, we jumped in the ride." He said, "I don't know if it was because I was in the car with Parrish and he had on the fisherman hat." That's how Chris is talking. We was dying laughing. He said, "But he played me some music that was incredible." He said, "Yo, he played me this song called Headbanger, and it was ridiculous." This is Chris talking like, "Yo, he played me some song called Headbanger." He's like, "I don't know if it's because I was in the ride with Parrish and he had on the fisherman hat and the whole thing." He said, "But some song called Headbanger is coming. And boy, when it comes, it's a problem." And we was like, "Headbanger?" Like, all right. And of course, we know the rest is history when Headbanger came out. As a matter of fact, I went to the Apollo to see the whole Hit Squad. It wasn't the Death Squad, it was the Hit Squad perform at the Apollo, and the PMD was last. And they were doing their songs, and they got to like about 5 songs in. And then the whole crowd just started going, "The Headbanger, the Headbanger, the Headbanger." Like the whole Apollo just started going, "The Headbanger." And Eric was going, "Yo, we're going to do that song. We got like a few more songs to do. We're going to get to it." And the crowd just going, "The Headbanger, the Headbanger." Like they just like, "We can't, whatever y'all going to do, we can't take it no more. We want to hear the Headbanger." And I remember eventually Redman came out and said, "Negroes." And when that beat dropped in the Apollo, it was over, y'all. That's one of a quick EPMD story that I could tell off the top of my head. Yeah, Parrish sat Chris down in the ride and played him Headbanger and blew his mind. All right, let me scroll down a little bit, y'all. Born Gifted, salute Kenny. Top 5 hip hop live performers, solo or group. Live performers? Boy, that's tough. I'm going to leave BDP out of this. I'm biased. Best I've seen live. And when I go, see, here's my criteria. There's no lip syncing. I think lip syncing over the vocals is the worst thing that ever happened in live music. And I believe that hip hop, I'm not going to say hip hop started it, but hip hop picked it up and made it prevalent. I don't care what you do live. I don't care if you bring out a fire-breathing dragon on stage. I don't care if you take a M80 and stick it in your ass and light it. I don't care what you do. If you lip sync over the vocals, to me, you are whack. So no lip syncing over the vocals, great energy, and be able to sustain the crowd for a long period of time, not just your hit record, but over a long period of time. Best live performance that I've seen, group, Naughty by Nature was dope. Tribe Called Quest was dope. I mean, all of Native Tongue is dope. De La and Jungle, all of them dope. Tribe Called Quest, really dope live. You think of groups. Those might be my top 2 groups. Run DMC, dope. Public Enemy, that's 4 groups. I might have to think on a 5th group. Solo, Buster, Redman, Ice Cube, my favorite. Wow, off the top of my head, those. Some people I've seen be good sometimes and not. Some people are not consistent to me. I've seen them be dope and then I've seen them be so-so. I never got to see Tupac live. He's one of the few people I've never seen live. He would have been interesting to see. I do believe that the video clips that I saw of him, he looked like he had all the ingredients, but I never got to see him live, so I can't really say. Biz Markie was really dope live when I used to see him back in the day. Young Biz was a problem. And Kane. Biz and Kane. Those are my five. Biz and Kane, Redman, Ice Cube, Buster, soloist. Great question. That's my opinion. And I've seen just about everybody. The Psychotic Circus of Savannah. If DLC didn't have his accident, do you believe he would have been as loved and appreciated as Rakim? He's arguing an equal MC. Some would argue a better one. Better than Rakim, I cannot say that. I cannot say that the DLC is better than Rakim. And I love the DLC. I just don't think he's better than Rakim. Is a whole different, and Rakim changed the game. DOC's whole flow. DOC said he listened to Rakim, and that's how he learned how to rap. He said that. Would he be beloved as Rakim? So that's a tough question, because back then, to be beloved, I mean, there was a lot of New York bias, and I'm from New York. I don't know if he could have ever been beloved. Well, Tupac, because if you're not from New York, the most beloved rapper in New York to me that's not from New York is Pac. So the argument would have been, would he have been like Pac? That's tough. Because Pac had a lot of things about him that made him beloved. As a lyricist, I think DOC was as good as just about anybody on his first album. But to me, one album, there's a lot of dudes that had a dope 2-year, 3-year run, and then the bottom falls out. So off of one album, I'm not going on potential. I could just go by the one album, even though he wrote a lot of dope stuff for the Chronic and all that. I mean, he was really dope, man. But I think he would have been one of the greats of all time. I don't think he would have been loved like Rakim. I can't put him in the same category as Rakim. And would he would have been as beloved as, say, Tupac? I'm not sure. But I don't know about that one. But I love the DOC, one of my all-time favorites. Let me scroll down. D King, 1989. Kenny Parker, what's up? What's up? Any Ice-T stories, Wiggles? I got a whole Ice-T story on, check out my epic fails. I think it was 3 epic fails ago, or 2, West Coast. I got a whole Ice-T story. And if you get the book, I have a gigantic Ice-T story, how I met him. It's hilarious. Gary's Garage. Lakim Shabazz. Shout out to Lakim Shabazz. I saw Lakim Shabazz a few years ago. He was good. Shout out to Lakim Shabazz. That's real deep hip hop right there, Gary's Garage. Funk Star. I didn't know 45 King could spread love. Yeah. Spread love. Dot, dot. And them drums. Everybody used to cut that up. 45 King. Let me scroll back down. Sorry, as soon as you touch this thing, it just goes zoom. Live, Dougie Fresh. I forgot Dougie. Of course, Dougie got to be in it. Damn, Dougie's right at the top, as a matter of fact. The greatest entertainer. Dougie, I forgot all about Dougie Fresh. My bad, because Dougie is incredible live. DWAJ, Dwaj. Was there an MC from back in the day that KRS-One said, hell no, we ain't battling with this brother? Never. I've never heard Chris say he wasn't battle somebody. Any Master Ace stories? Dude was mad underrated. Shout out to Master Ace. He's mad cool. I never got to really chill with Master Ace, but I used to see him all the time in New York City. When you're in New York City in the clubs, everybody sees everybody. I don't really have any Master Ace stories. Fluffy Toenails asked this. I don't have any Master Ace stories, but I used to see him all the time. Mad cool brother. Let me scroll down a little bit. I seen Beastie Boys live. That shit was insane. Yes, Beastie Boys was dope too. I mean, we did a couple shows with Beastie Boys. I'm trying to think of, because the Beastie Boys was dope live, but also their crowd would be wild, hyped up too. So it can give the appearance that dudes are more dope than they are. Not saying that they're not dope. Don't I'm not trying to say Beastie Boys aren't dope. But when I saw that their crowds be so wild and mosh pits be going on and stuff, it makes it seem like are they really killing it, or are the crowd just ridiculously wild? Like, the real greatest, and Beastie Boys are dope, by the way. I'm not saying they're not dope. I'm just saying the real illest dudes I ever seen, like, I've seen them come places where the crowd is like, all right, show me what you got, kind of, and they just destroy the place. Fluffy Toenails, BDP on Arsenio doing Love's Gonna Get You. Excellent live. Yes, thank you so much. I was in that little mix, and we got to curse on TV. Chris asked permission for the producers to say, and tell me what the fuck am I supposed to do? And we did a dress rehearsal, and he told them where he was going to say it, and they said, say it, and they'll blank it out. So we might be the only group ever to come on Arsenio and curse. OGO Parker, you are a phenomenal storyteller. I'm so glad I caught you live, my friend. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Sugar Daddy Juan Williams, that headbanger bass line was so dope. Yes, it was. I do believe that is Parliament. Funkadelic. Arrested Development had a dope live show. Yeah, there's a few people that had dope live shows. You just asked me my top 5. I've seen Arrested Development perform. Actually, I never met Speech, but I met the girl who used to go My Own, Trouble Zone. The girl who used to do all the ad-libs. I got to meet her one time. She came to a show that we had. So that shout out to her. I don't even know her name. I just know My Own, Trouble Zone, all the ad-libs. That's so whack of me. Let me scroll down. FU2. Best live performance I saw was KRS at the Apollo in like October of 1990 when I was 11. Yeah, I mean, we've tore the Apollo down something awful a few times. I'm going to leave KRS out of my top 5, though. Sugar Daddy, I saw PE live, dope show. I saw PE live a bunch of times. Incredible. OGO Parker, who would be your top 4 living rappers to have a YouTube live with? Well, I guess it would be people that I really like my favorites. I'm a huge Native Tongue fan. So Tip, Paz, they would be dope. Rest in peace, True Goy. I got a funny True Goy story. I think I should just tell this right now. It just came on my mind. I actually had an argument with True Goy a few years back, maybe 2013, about why I feel like I don't look exactly like KRS-One. We was having a laugh. They had a show. I was in their dressing room, and they were saying, like, people were saying, of course, I look like KRS-One. Here's my argument. Back in the day, over the years, We used to go, when you go places with KRS-One, it creates like a mob scene in like instantaneous. Like if you go to the mall with KRS-One, within 15 minutes, they'll have to get security and they'll have to like almost shut the mall down. With any known celebrity, like a rapper or singer or something like that, a movie person, they would cause a big problem wherever they are. And plus, you know, KRS-One looks exactly like KRS-One. So there's places that we've gone where it literally they had to call the police when KRS was there. Now, my argument is when I go to these places, nobody don't shut them all down for me. I walk all over the place, all over the country, and I've never, ever been anywhere where everybody was like, there goes KRS-One right there. And people start crowding around. Never, not one time. Anytime I walk around, all I ever hear is, where is your brother? And my brother's name is Kenny. That's Kenny Parker. That's all I hear when I walk around. No one ever goes, that's KRS-One, and cars stopping and stuff. But when you're with KRS-One walking around, it's a problem. So my argument was, if I looked exactly like KRS-One, how come I don't get mobbed when I come in the mall and when I go places like he does? And I was trying to say this to Trugoy, and he was just looking at me and going, nah, man, you look just like him. Nah, like that. He wasn't trying to hear my argument or nothing. It was so hilarious. Rest in peace to the Dove. De La Soul all day. I didn't even answer your question. Top 4 living rappers outside of Native Tongue. That's a tough question because I've met. I'd have to get back to that because it would have to be somebody who's very outgoing that would talk like. I love Redman as well. He's one of my favorites. Reggie would be hilarious on a channel like this. And then maybe somebody I never met who I think is dope. I never met Dr. Dre. I would love to talk to him about production on this channel. Dr. Dre. He might be number 1. As a producer, I've never met him. I would love to chop it up with him. Louis Teneo's on the check-in. What's good? Cuddy 8077. Ever met the Beastie Boys? No. We've done shows with the Beastie Boys, but usually, you know, it'd be a lot of security around them. I mean, of course, Chris knows them. You know, they're cool with Chris, but I personally have never met the Beastie Boys. I played basketball with their DJ, Hurricane, when he was the DJ back in the day. FU2. DLC better than Rakim. Drug test that man. Nah, everyone has their opinion. That's what makes music great, man. That's what everybody has their own opinion. For DLC to be better than Rakim, I would have needed at least 3 or 4 DLC albums for me to really, you know. Love and gratitude. What's up, Kenny? Have you ever wrote a rhyme? Not one. I have not a rhyme bone in my body. FU2, we loved Ice Cube in New York City. Those first 2 albums, absolutely. I hope y'all checked out my last epic fails that I just posted about NWA and how I discovered NWA. It's hilarious. Let me see what this is. Yo Folks 3. Thank you so much for your contribution. Really appreciate it. What is your most recent 45 record you mixed with? Rest in power, the 45 King of 45s. My most recent 45 record. I be doing whole 45 parties with Mobile Mondays. Shout out to my girl, DJ Misbehavior. Shout out to Operator M's. Shout out to Rebecca Lynn. We be doing whole parties in New York City in the summertime. I just did one with them in August. I do believe it was August 3rd. So we was rocking for like 4 hours. So I can't say what my most recent 45 was. We played hip hop, we played um, disco, we played breaks, everything, reggae. Um, I have a bunch of 45s. Biz Markie had one of the illest 45 collections ever. And the last time I spoke to him, a little while after I took this picture with him, I was supposed to go to his house in Maryland. He had some 45s he was gonna let me get. And then like a month later, he was in the hospital. Miss you, Biz. Let me scroll down. 49 and Neil. I was fortunate to see EPMD perform Headbanger live at the Civic Center in Philly back in the 90s. Redman rocked it too. He had the Freddy Krueger intro routine. Yeah, if you got to see Headbanger live with all of them there, K Solo, EPMD, and Redman, you are blessed. FE2, DLC is not a better rapper than Tosh of the Alcoholics. Wow, that's I don't know. Wow. That's a tough one. I'm gonna leave that one alone. Lodgin 80, Rakim changed the whole rap culture. Absolutely. Damn. Ronaldo, any Rakim stories? I have a couple. I'm saving that for a whole Rakim epics fail. Fluffy Toenails, the rap game is before Rakim and after Rakim. He changed forever. Absolutely it is. I Am Battle. Lightning in a bottle. The R and the time can't be duplicated. It can't. It can't. I mean, Rakim is a whole different animal, man. A whole different animal. Jay Works, all real hip hop heads showing up here. Yes, that's why I love the live. That's why, let me say this, you really want your channel to be as big as possible. I mean, everyone wants to do something, be successful, but honestly, I want this channel to be for people, like-minded people. I don't want everybody to be on this channel. I want people on this channel that really love hip hop, love details, like talking about the little intricacies. I like to have real hip hop conversation. Sometimes when I post videos, especially about beef, I get a lot of casual people on my channel, not really subscribers. They just come on because they saw some beef and make ridiculous comments and stuff. I mean, I appreciate everybody coming on, but this is what I really love. You guys are the real core of my channel, the people that we just kick it right now. We don't even have any agenda. We just talking, y'all. Yeah, you're right. A lot of real hip hop. This is how I love it. Rosalind Berry, thank you so much. My friend Rosalind. Oh my goodness. Who's your top female artist between from the 80s and 90s? I loved Queen Latifah. I'm going with, I liked a lot. Like I liked Salt and Pepper. I liked Little Kim and Foxy was cool. MC Light, I like a lot. She's up there. Of course, Lauren, Lauren is like an obvious. Top female artist, I'm going to go with Lauren, Missy, Latifah is my top three off the top of my head. Yeah. And Lauren is almost more, I think Lauren sung more than she even rapped. Is Lauryn Hill a rapper that sings, or is she a singer that raps? Question. Yo, folks, thank you so much. You a Knicks or Nets fan? Giants or Jets fan? Yankee or Mets fan? Well, I used to be. Now I'm not really. First, I was a basketball, huge basketball. I didn't really follow football that much. So I'm only a Giants fan, or when they're in the Super Bowl. Like I'm straight bandwagon when it comes to football. I'm a straight Yankees fan over Mets. BX. And I'm a Knicks fan over the Nets, although I'm talking back in the day. Now I don't really have a team. I just have individuals that I like. But I grew up as a Knicks fan through and through. But I was also a New Jersey Nets fan too. So Knicks, Giants, Yankees. Excuse me. Let me scroll down. Let me get some of this water out this red cup. Angel Minded 70. Hey, Kenny, wife, kids? Never been married, don't have any children, unfortunately. Lee and Let's Make Sense. Have you ever met Poor Righteous Teachers Group? Absolutely. I was just talking about them earlier. If you were late to the live, we actually toured with Poor Righteous Teachers, and I was cool with their DJ. Oh, I forgot his name. Oh, that's so sad because he passed away too. Oh man, his name slips my mind. Sorry, but he passed away. Yes, met Poor Righteous Teacher. We did mad shows with them in the early 90s. American Grow. Lauren is as a singer that has bars. See, that's why I say when people say Lauryn Hill being the greatest female rapper of all time. Now, I'm about to make a controversial statement, and I love Lauryn. She is mad cool. I would consider her. I wouldn't say we're friends, but we have spoken and chilled. I've actually been in the studio with Lauryn working on music that never came out. But when people say she's at the top of the rap game, I'm saying talent-wise she is, but she hasn't rapped that much. If you really think about it, if you combine all of her rhymes that she ever did in the Fugees album and all of the rhymes that she did on Miseducation, and you put them all together, would it even equal 6 songs? All her bars, let's say 3 bars is a song. Does she have 6 songs worth of rhymes? I don't think she has a whole album. I think Lauryn Hill as a rapper, who's probably the greatest talented female rapper of all time, does not have enough raps for an album. And for me, to call somebody the greatest, I need to see you spaced out over a period of time to get a full feeling of your career, like 10 years. In order for you to be a GOAT, I need 10 years. I need like 5, 6 albums to really feel you. And I'm going to say Lauryn is the greatest female rapper of all time, but it's really hard to judge that because she didn't really rap. She sung more than she raps. And this might be a controversial take. I know somebody's going to take this and run with it and try to say I was trying to diss Lauryn, which I am absolutely not. I think she is the most talented female rapper that ever lived. But she did not rap that much, if you really think about it. Let's move on. Roxanne Shante, I'm biased. Shout out to Shante. I did a whole interview with Shante last year on her channel. I liked Roxanne Shante too. When people just ask me my favorite. Rodney H, thank you so much for your contribution. Who is a better DJ, you or KRS? KRS. Because he scratched on a lot of records that were hits. He scratched on 85% of all the BDP KRS-One records you ever heard. Matter of fact, if you subtract records by DJ Premier, I did a few scratches on songs. He probably did 90-something% of all the records scratching. All of those old records. Oh, and you got to subtract Criminal Minded because of Scott LaRock. So I'm gonna say he probably did, like 85. So he wins, man. Who would win a DJ versus you or KRS? A versus. So he would kill me. He scratched on everything. So you're a philosopher? Yes. That's him. I would lose. KRS don't want no smoke with DJ Kenny Parker. He taught me how to DJ. I'm going to say he wins, man. Thank you so much. I'm going to say he wins. I mean, Jack of Spades, Jack. That's all Chris. Mr. Ventures, did you like Boss? I mean, I just knew her one song. It was cool. I mean, she was okay. Fluffy Toenails, you should get Cool V on here. Absolutely, I should get Cool V on here. There's a bunch of people coming, y'all. I just spoke to Cool V a few months ago. Me and him go way back. Absolutely, I should get Cool V on here. Yo, folks 3, thank you. Shout out to DJ Kool Herc, 2020 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductee. Absolutely. I mean, he finally got his flowers 50 years later. I'm glad he got him while he was still alive. He's acknowledged as the guy. I mean, people say different names, but he's stamped now as the guy. Kool Herc is the guy. So you know, you can say what you want to say. This person or that person started it. Kool Herc is the guy. John Dixon, Lauryn Hill, 60% rapper, 40% singer. Yeah. Damon Lazari, you've been on here before. Who you make beats for out of BDP camp? Of course, KRS-One. I've probably done about 30 records with him. Heather B, I probably did about, that y'all heard, probably like 15. I did a song for Mad Lion called Double Trouble on his album. When Supernatural was down with BDP, when we were working on his album, I did a few songs for Supernatural that never came out. Unfortunately, I thought it was banging. I was supposed to work on a Channel Live album. I was trying to submit some beats. It didn't work out. Yeah, that's it. KRS, Heather B, Mad Lion. That y'all heard. Because, you know, you do a lot of stuff in the studio that never comes out. American Negro, thank you so much for your contribution. Met Christian in Malibu circa 2019, and the vibe was so good. I did not ask for a photo. We were at a restaurant called Jeffrey's. Ah, dope. I'm glad you got to meet him. You know, Chris, you know, he's although he is my brother, but he's a regular dude if you get a chance to kick it with him. He loves to talk and debate. If you ever get a chance to kick it with Chris, that's real dope. I mean, you know, most people don't ever get a chance to meet him, but if you ever see him, just walk right up to him and start talking. Don't tell him I told you that. Thank you so much for your contribution, man. Let me scroll down. Def Rocker, don't forget Lauryn Hill can act. She's a dope actress. Lauryn Hill is incredible. Absolutely incredible. I'm just talking about her as an MC. It's very hard to judge her. For whatever reason, who is the most intimidating rapper that you've ever met? Intimidating. That's a tough word. Intimidating meaning fearful or apprehensive to speak to him? I've been starstruck when I met Run of Run DMC for the first time. That I was starstruck. intimidating. Rakim is so smooth and his demeanor is so mystical, like that you don't, when you see him, you don't know whether to be like, yo, Ra, what's up? Or Ra, what's up? He's mad cool, but when I see him, his aura is, he's the God. So he's not intimidating. He's just like, you don't know how to approach him because he's so iconic. That's the only person I would say was intimidating. Physically, I've never been afraid to like meet a rapper. It's just that some people seem to, maybe they be standoffish. And then you don't know how to approach them because you don't want to, be in any situation where you get played. But yeah, Gargan Fluck, Gospin Speed. I can't even pronounce that. Did you work on Heather B's All Glocks Down? Yes, I produced that song. Heather B, I'm gonna get Heather B on here one day, and we could just go. Sugar Daddy Williams, the Sly and Robbie album was so underrated. Yeah, it was. Unpopular opinion, it cuts off. Thank you so much. Can you give my boy Ross Thompson a shout out? He's an ex-pro boxer and possibly the biggest KRS fan ever. Ross Thompson, what's good? Peace, my brother, the biggest KRS fan ever. That's dope. Do you got all the albums, Ross? Super shout out, Ross Thompson. What's good from the BDP fam? Let me scroll. We got a lot going on here. Fredro Starr scares me. All 5 feet of him. Verse Pro. Garage Fuck. Hey, Kenny, why did Rakim and KRS never do a song together? Well, they did that song Classic. Back in the day, back in the 80s, 90s, people didn't really do songs together like that. They were mad cool, but people didn't really do songs like that. That's why Self-Destruction was such a amazing song, because like everybody was on there. People were bugging out, like, oh shoot, all these rappers were on one song. That was very rare. Fluffy Toenails. What about the Melly Mel diss to Eminem? I'm just gonna leave that one alone. I'm gonna leave that one alone. I don't even know how that even came about. Who made Going Way Back beat? KRS, I believe. I believe that Scott LaRock and that's the last song. That's what they were working on when Scott was killed. I do believe they were working on Going Way Back. So Scott might have done that beat, or KRS, or both of them. I wasn't in the studio for that. Scrolling down. Sugar Daddy One Williams, thank you so much. I grew up with BDP crew. Respect due. Respect to anybody who rocked with BDP. Rosmel, DJ Hurricane was also a lyricist. I did not know that. Def Rocker, do you remember Divine Styler and Sir Ibu? Well, I remember Sir Ibu from Holy War. That's, that was one of the most underrated dope records out of New York City of all time. Shout out Sir Ibu, Holy War. I do believe that he made that song. His style was so ill on that song. I think Ghostface did it over. Sir Ibu, if we're talking about the same guy that made Holy War. A Steel, Just Ice is the most intimidating rapper ever saw. He probably is if you didn't know him. I met Justice differently. So to me, he's not intimidating because that's my brother's close friend. So when I met him, it was like, yo, Just, that's my brother's friend. But maybe if I didn't meet him like that, he could have been scary too. Because Just is the real deal. Don't let me. I always talk about how cool Just Ice is on this channel, and he is, but he's also the real deal, y'all. If you could take 3 to 5 KRS and BDP albums and put them together and make the best of your classic album, what would they be? That's a tough question. That would take a minute to go into. That's a dope question. Man, that's a tough question. 3 to 5 albums, because I would pick from all over the place. That's a dope question. That would take a minute for me to answer. The Psychotic Circus was done. Chris seemed like he was anti-shiny suit. That Puff Daddy featuring Step Into a World. What were your thoughts when Chris said he was working with Puffy? I think we spoke about that in the last live. We went all the way into that. I gave my whole opinion on that. If you check out the last live that I did, I talked a lot about that remix. I don't want to go into it too deep here. My last live that I did, was that last week? I think last Tuesday. Matter of fact, y'all, I'm trying to come every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern time, U.S. Eastern time. I'm trying to do it every Tuesday. So far, we've got like 4 or 5 of them in a row. If I'm not on here at 8 o'clock, by 8:05 or something, I might miss it. But I'm trying to be here every Tuesday, 8 o'clock. Simeon Israel. I never got to see KRS versus J. Rue the Damager. Versus? Like beef? Never. Mr. Vince, did you ever meet KMD? I do believe I met them. I can't remember for sure. I believe I met some of them up at Epic Records. Wayne B, you ever meet Stevie Wonder? If so, any stories? I never met Stevie Wonder, but my brother met Stevie Wonder, and they're actually pretty cool. I would have loved to meet Stevie Wonder, a musical genius. And I don't use the word genius that often, but he is a musical genius. Never got to meet Stevie Wonder, but him and Chris are cool. Let me scroll down. The Total Hype Style, the Total Can't You See remix with South Bronx was wild. I don't care. They should have had KRS spit a verse on the remix on there along with the Brat. It wasn't Can't You See. It was I Don't Want Nobody Else But You. Nobody Else was the song. Yeah, that would have been dope. Rio's good. Kenny, can we hear some beats? One day I'm gonna do a whole live and I'm just gonna play beats. I have so many discs. You see all these discs? This is just probably 1/5 of all the discs. I don't know if y'all could see them. There's a whole bunch of discs going all the way down. I have a bunch of them with just various beats. Some that y'all heard, some y'all didn't hear. One day I'm just gonna get on here and do that. What country did you like touring in the most? UK. Is that a country? London. London is one of my favorite places ever. Japan is dope. I'm going London. How do you say is that country? Is it England or is it the UK or is it Britain? What is it? Whatever. UK, I don't know what technically you guys call it. Just Scooters. KRS couldn't make a song called 13 and Good in 2023. No, he couldn't. For sure. I'm just trying to scroll down, y'all. I see some. Run the Jewels. I'd say it's the UK. Somebody with the UK. B-Ball Joneson. England is in the UK? Oh, see. Oh, man. England is one country in the UK, which is a group of countries, Scotland, Wales, etc. Oh. Well, London is one of my favorite places. So where is that in England then? England, the country, is my favorite country. Damn. I would have said the UK. I'm all over the place. Oh, shit. We had an hour, y'all. I'm going to slow down. I'm going to cut this in a second. Sean Brown, the rapping Duke. Shout out. That record was big in New York. The rapping Duke, the hard. That record was huge in New York. I don't know what it was everywhere else. I have that record on 45. Speaking of 45s, I have rapping Duke on 45. That record was giant in New York. It was on the radio like in the daytime. Decipher 1 C Crew. London is in England. Yes. Okay. And A Steel say it's in the UK. Come on, y'all. Oh. All right. I'm about to get off soon, y'all. We had an hour. Any Hollywood celebs were fans of BDP? Bunches of them. We met tons of you know what? I have an Epic Fails Hollywood that's pretty funny, y'all. I got some funny actor stories. I should do that next. It's funny, man. Actors that I met in funny ways. I think I'm going to do that. Do you have any stories about the Latin Rascals? No, never met the Latin Rascals that I know of. You cool with Freddie Fox? He was an intimidating dude, but seems cool. Freddie, another Freddie Fox is the real deal, y'all. I got to meet him as one of my brother's friends, so I know him differently. Freddie could be very intimidating. I've seen Freddie Fox walk down the street one day outside of a concert. He was walking through and I saw him, so he was coming in my direction and people were parting like a pit bull was coming down the street. And I laughed when I saw. I was like, yo, why you look so scary, man? And he just started laughing. He's intimidating. Freddie Fox is intimidating, but he's mad cool. El Sol, peace. Kenny, sorry I'm late. You late. We about to sign off, dude. 20 Free Will. London is in England. England is in the UK. The UK is a small group of countries which come under the banner of UK. The UK is not a country. Okay, so England is what country I like? I like England. Boy, that was real. Great Britain, United Kingdom is the entire area of England. See, here we go, yo. Is it Great Britain? Yo, come on, man. Now we're back to square one. My Engelwolf, thank you for taking us all the way back to square one. Oh, man. April 7th artwork. Kenny, run it back. Yeah, we about to be out, man. I'm going to answer like a couple more. I saw Freddie Fox live in 90 at the Apollo. He opened up for Kane. Crowd booed, and he won them back. Dope. Manchester is the real capital of England. We did Manchester a bunch of times. Dope shows. Drizzy, favorite Red Alert promo is BDP. Yes. Brandon Williams, ever meet Willie D of the Ghetto Boys? No. I've seen Scarface and KRS meet. I was there, but I didn't get to meet Scarface. He spoke to Chris and Chris. I was there when they met for the first time. I was standing right there, but he didn't speak to me. And I'm a huge fan of Face Mob. I met Bushwick Bill. Shout out to rest in peace, Bushwick Bill. I met Bushwick. I saw Scarface, and I never met Willie D. And S, you got some Biz Markie stories? Dude, you got to scroll back on the channel. I got a whole story about Biz Markie versus BDP. And if you get the book, it's filled with biz, man. Fisted 5, you're talking to the same dudes. Oh. Carlos Wright, Miss Melody, what was she like? She was cool. I always say that on church. I found her to be moody. I'm keeping it 100. Rest in peace, Miss Melody. She was moody. Sometimes she'd be chilling. Sometimes she'd be like, she don't feel like being bothered. That's my assessment of Miss Melody. Moody. But she was cool. When she was cool, she was cool. Def Rocker, United Kingdom is also known as Great Britain. Y'all killing me, man. We're back to square one, Def Rocker. 7 Manchurian 7. 7 Manchuria 7. I bought your book. Thank you so much. Thank you for everyone who bought the book. Thank you for everyone checking out this live. I love doing this live. You guys are the backbone of this channel. For the people who are going to check this out later on, thank you so much. I'm about to get out of here. I said that 5 minutes ago, but I'm about to click off in like 1 minute. I'm just going to pick one more. Okay, I don't see it. I think I answered just about everything. Excuse me. All right. Call us right. Ever been through Webster Projects? Yes. Had a friend in Webster Projects. I used to go through all the time. You don't want to go in Webster Projects. You ought to be like 20 dudes in the hallway. Webster Projects is rough. All right, y'all. I am out. Thank you so much for checking out the live. I will catch y'all next week, Tuesday at 8 p.m., God willing. Shout out once again to my friend Rosalind on the check-in. And I am out, y'all. Peace.